Hello. How we doing? Yum. What's on the menu today? That sounds good. Hey. I think tonight we're doing Savapi rolls. Savapi wraps. Should be tasty. Yeah. Hello, Ronnie. How you doing, lovely? So, we are here with Growing with Kobold. I've had requests for tutorials, and I don't do well with breaking stuff down too well. I do better by teaching by doing. So the way this is going to work is whether you want to draw along with me or whether you want to just hang out. I'm going to walk you guys through how I go through a process of doing an artwork and teach you guys the little tips and tricks I do as I'm going. And you guys can, if you decide to draw along with me.
Nice.
As we go, you guys, if you decide to, can draw along with me. And these will also be uploaded onto my YouTube. Which means by the end of the series, anyone that does draw along with me and decide to join in will have a finished artwork by the end of it. Which, if you guys do decide to draw along with me, I would love to see your progress. I'd like to see how you're laying it out and stuff. I put the theme onto a vote on our Discord, and it was a very close, very, very close race between a fantasy sort of slice of life daily living scene or a cafe scene. But the cafe scene won out. So that's what we're going to do today. We might still work some fantasy elements into it. So yeah. Today we're going to focus on how I find my inspiration, how I lay things out for a planned illustration like this. And yeah, we'll get started with that. Hello, Pixie. For anyone who is watching on YouTube at a later date or watching this back, hello, YouTubers. Please be aware that this is just going to be an upload of the entire stream because, yeah. So yeah, let's get started. So the first things we want to do is we want to work out what we want in our cafe. So obviously we're doing a cafe scene. We want fantasy elements. Maybe it's a little bit busy. Maybe it's cozy. We definitely want those cozy vibes. Now, one of the big questions we want to answer is, do we want... I'm thinking more maybe book cafe. We're going for that fantasy element. So, question is, do we want to do an inside or outside scene? Lots of plants. If we do the inside, it means we can have the barista. If we do the outside, we can have some street settings. It's nice to have a little bit of a plan. Yeah, like if we're doing a book cafe, inside's definitely the sort of... I put these to the wrong area. If we're doing the book cafe, it's definitely inside makes a little bit more sense. All right. So when we're doing this sort of thing, the first thing I always do is I make a Pinterest board for my inspiration. So I'm going to walk you guys through that. Pinterest, completely free to use. Just be aware that there's been a lot of AI on it recently, which fucking sucks. There's also a lot of sort of art that's been uploaded without artist permission. Just always be aware of that. But if you're looking for inspiration for like different outfits or posing, it is perfect for that sort of thing. There's been a lot of ads. So you guys can see that I've got couple of little folders already. Like, this is my mood board for my VTuber. And it's just all different things that, like, inspire me. Like, no surprise, there's Al and... when I was working on Tammy's VTuber model, inspirations for that. That kind of stuff. I've got anatomy, I've got haircuts, that's my thing for Lexi. Lex and I were talking about haircuts for her. But yeah, it's so easy to make a folder, and it's something I want to get into the habit of doing more with bigger pieces as well, is just actually making more active mood boards so that I can refer back to them if I'm feeling a little bit stuck. So we're just gonna search for Cozy Cafe. And we're gonna find some inspiration here. So this one, obviously, that's saved to the wrong board, but save to a new board. If you've already got some, click on the arrow, click create board, let's say. And I will share this inspo board with you guys if you would like to. Otherwise, you can save your own. I will, after this stream, I will be making a little channel in my Discord so that you guys can post your progress pictures. You can post questions that I might be able to answer next session. Because this will be a fortnightly thing. And there'll be a little area in there where you can actually post your own progress with these pictures as well. I like this one. We're just going to go through and save a few of these things. This is also where you'll find that your own personal style will show through. I tend to gravitate more towards the green industrial vibes, or more of like a dark sort of green eclectic vibe, whereas you might go for more pastels, or something a little bit modern, or something a little bit more European, and that is entirely on you. This is your world, your image. It's up to you what you want to do. So we're just going to go through and save a few of these. While we're doing this, we're also thinking about what kind of characters we want to put in here. Don't be afraid to look at some of the other aesthetic pages. This one did not quite turn out to be what I was hoping it would be. So we're going to go back. Look at interior design. It's a really bad interior design prompt. There we go. If you want to put stands under Talon, you absolutely can. Now, I'm signed into a different account on my PC at the moment, so that I didn't have my personal Pinterest things. But if you would like to send them to my other account, it's just Kobold Curios. I have 2 Pinterest accounts because if I'm doing stuff like this, where it's public facing, I don't want my little personal bits and pieces thrown out there. Uh, Just be aware that if you are using Pinterest, its suggested folders, if you've got multiple folders, can be a little bit funky sometimes. Like this one up here, for some reason, was automatically set to male anatomy, which I don't understand. Always be aware of that. In addition to the cafe itself, we'll get some aesthetic vibes. And once you do get a few things, we've got this, it'll automatically generate some ideas for your board as well, according to what you've saved. Which you can click on and get some more. These are actually quite good. Alrighty. Next thing we want is this should be it's not showing me who my followers are. I'll follow you on here. Sometimes it helps also to look at other people's illustrations of cafes just to see what perspective they've used. Um, Matsukishi does amazingly detailed artworks that look so effortless, and I love it. They're honestly an amazing artist. Absolutely recommend. So here with me typing in Fantasy Cafe, this is where we're gonna potentially start getting a little bit of AI mixed in, like this one just here. Simple thing is, don't click on it. The less you click on those kind of things on Pinterest, the more they get suppressed. And that helps everyone. Pinterest is pretty simple like that. Cafe concept art is a good one. All right. So we have our board now. Doesn't have to be super busy, super detailed. And then this is where we go back to our concept. So this is where we start making some sketches. So I generally start my sketches in colors. I don't use black for sketches. My mains are these three colors here. I also don't tend to use a white background. It's not good for your eyes, but it's also just nicer to work with. It's less fatiguing. It's better for working on contrast, because it means lighter and brighter colors are brighter and lighter. Darker colors have that emphasis of their darkness. They don't look too dark. But I tend to work in these muted sort of tones in my sketches. Lately, my go-tos have been this burnt orange color and the pink. If I'm ever feeling stuck, changing a color is sometimes just enough to help. And I always do try to do my sketches in a textured brush. If you want the brushes that I use, I can list them for you. Otherwise, just find a brush that makes you happy. This one here. And this one. So, we want a cafe. So, having those pictures up on another screen. If you can't have them up on a screen, Clip does have this handy tool here. You can save them and import them into what is called a sub view, and it's like a reference page that you can flick through. I've currently got some of my characters up on here because I was doing some doodles of those the other day. But you can save those Pinterest pictures, upload it into there, which we'll probably be doing later on. I've got two screens, so I've essentially got the Pinterest thing up next to you guys on one screen and this on the other. A little bit harder to do if you're working on iPad. Set your phone next to you with this, with the pictures.
Take care
open,
of yourself.
that kind of thing. Thank you, D. Make sure we are stretching and hydrating, stretching our wrists, and blinking. Blinking is important. So this is where we start working out our thumbnails. We don't have to be perfect immediately. Maybe I want barista. Can go over there. Some shelving. Maybe this has a cabinet with some treats in it. Welcome back with pasta. So maybe there's some like eggs and stuff in that. We'll do. Now, you don't have to be perfect with this sketch. This is really just a concept sketch. So it doesn't even look like a coffee machine, but that's a coffee machine. And this is like barista there. Maybe there's a booth here. Someone sitting down to study. Coffee. Another plate with a piece of cake on it. Big window there. It's out onto the street. Someone's looking in. They've got a friend sitting there. They're holding something cute. You can have a coffee. And then we want something here. Generally when you're working on a scene, this is completely, it's not a necessary thing, but it's something I always try to work for. I always try to work a Fibonacci spiral into it somehow. So maybe you've got someone. Where do you want the focus of your image to be? Maybe it's in the foreground here, so that's where you'd go. Like, okay, your eye is going to follow this path here. So I'm going to start here, look at that, look at the window, and then end up focused on this scene here. It's 1, 2, 3. Alternatively, maybe you want the focus to be on the barista themselves. In which case, you'd go like that. 1, 2, 3. But it's the direction that draws your eye. Another concept for this would be, okay, triangle theory. There's 3 points of interest. 1, 2, 3. Each of these points have equal interest, but they draw your attention in. The key though is to make sure there is area that lets your eyes rest. So I'm going to turn on the Pinterest thing again very briefly, and I'll show you an example. Let's say with this picture here. So this is a very busy picture. I don't know how well you guys can see that. There you go. This is a really busy picture. But you can see that there is, it might actually be easier for me to explain with saving it. Okay. I'm just using this for educational purposes. Okay. So this has that Fibonacci spiral. Your eyes start here, and they finish here. You take in the whole image. You've got an area here that still has some detail, but it is fairly empty. This area is important because this makes your eyes happy. In any picture that you're working on, I can show you in other detailed pictures that I've done as well. Pictures finished. Let's find a scene for you guys. This one here. There's a decent amount of detail in this. Let me turn off that. There's a decent amount of detail in this. But there are areas for your eyes to rest. There is this dark area here where it doesn't have much detail, but it's just enough. It lets your eyes rest. There's details of these. There's the city here. There's the waterfall here. This is the horrible color to be working with for this. The city here, the waterfall here, fairies, sunset. All of that is busy, and then you've got quiet space here, quiet space here, and a quiet space here, just to let your eyes rest. The same thing with this one. So you have a void space there. Let your eyes rest. But all this detail over here, and it draws your eyes in. So there's people coming in the door. There's the grandfather reaching out for the little girl because she's about to pull something off the shelf. And it all spirals around to this one little girl who, even though she might not initially be considered the focus of the picture, you can see her full face. You can see she's looking longingly at the treats and the candy. She's not in front detail, but she is the intended focus of the picture. She's surrounded with characters with darker hair. She's green eyes, which is different from any of the other characters in the image. She's wearing bright clothing. She is the focus of the picture. And so this creates this natural flow where your eyes will automatically go to her. And then you've got this area here that lets your eyes rest. So we want to create that for ours. So this is one thumbnail. We can see that the focus would be these guys here. We might not necessarily want that idea though. So let's make another one. Looking at our Pinterest board, looking at the different angles. The different sort of positions and show. Maybe we want something more like this. Get more of the cafe in view. So you've got the barista here. Maybe there. Booth behind here. Tables, chairs. Table here. There. Table there. Big window there. Hanging plants. Picture there. Just like that. And you've got some, maybe it's late afternoon and you've got some lights streaming in. So you're gonna make it really close. It could be asleep in the middle of the floor. Maybe it's something like that. And in that case, you could have someone sitting there, a kid, a halfling, and then this would be the resting spot. Focus on I do. I tend to. So let's say let's focus. So if this picture is, say, portrait or panoramic, as I said, you can still use this Fibonacci spiral. Let me quickly find some images online that I can give you some examples. Okay, let me open these up and I will show you. Alright. This is a good one for more sort of panoramic views. This one, the Fibonacci spiral, is pretty easy to follow. The fish are going in that direction. You are following the vision of these fish to the boat here. It just becomes, the tail becomes more stretched. This one here, even though this is the dark corner, this is sort of where your eyes are going to follow. So this could go both ways. You can go, okay, well, it's darker over here, brighter over here. It's wanting you to follow this path. Or you go it this way. There's the detail of the bee here. That's where you want to put your focus. And you've got this pathway that is kind of naturally leading because you've got the curves there. You've got your eyes going to follow that. Like this one here. Your eyes follow the curves of the plants. No matter which way you put the Fibonacci spiral, it always ends there. And that is just because of the way all of the plants curve. This one here is a little more abstract, so it's harder. But I would still say the Fibonacci goes like that or like that. this one, which is, I think, is a clip from a Studio Ghibli thing. Or it's a take on a Studio Ghibli style. But this one, much taller framing, has a Fibonacci. You've got this, away. You've got this angle from the mountain down here, and that creates. Come down the mountain, you take in the closer scenery, and you end with the image. It directs the eye. Your eyes are always going to be drawn to bright things first, or really dark things first. But likewise, this also has that empty space, that space for your vision to rest. These ones do too. This one just has this space here. This one here, even with how detailed it is, this space here, and this less detailed space here. And then this one here is also really cool. You've got a lot of detail in this, but you've got spiral. You're going to get your eyes drawn by the red. 1, 2, and then you see the snake, and the snake curves, which takes you to the discarded bra, and then the next snake, and then up here to the lizard, and you finish with the girl laying in the butt. Yeah. And that's, you'll find that most cohesive, the only time this really gets broken per se, and even then it's only sometimes, is if you're looking at very my brain blinked on the word. God damn it. There are certain art styles that will break it. Because that's the whole point of the art style. But for most artworks that you really, really enjoy, and I'm sorry if I've just ruined your ability to look at an artwork and just appreciate it without looking for the Fibonacci spiral now, but every artwork you enjoy generally has a Fibonacci spiral in it. And it's not just art, it is a pattern that humans recognize from how life around us forms. A lot of plants grow in that Fibonacci spiral. If you're ever trying to draw like a particular plant or the like, lay the leaves out in the form of a Fibonacci spiral. A rose is just a Fibonacci spiral. Are you drawing backwards? Because it starts here and goes out. It's just, it is a natural, it is probably the most natural shape found in nature. Everything comes back to a spiral. And that's why it is so pleasing to our eyes, and it's why a lot of the time that's just how our brains work for a good art piece. So, that was a very, very long conversation about spirals. I'm sorry, gang. I think it's a really interesting thing to learn, though. I love that kind of intelligence, sort of just learning that, like, okay, you really do just break down art into shapes. Another option is we have the, oh, this color is not good for drawing in. Do a more forced perspective form. The good thing about this stage of doing the artwork is that everything can be changed, everything can be adjusted as needed. You don't have to worry about proportions or anything like that. Doorway is, maybe there's a big A window in here. Cushions that you can sit at. Maybe there's a it's a very big cat, but there's a table there. There's a booth here. The whole concept is we're just getting that, like, basic idea down. Obviously, we can decorate the wall with like plants and stuff like that. Shelves. All that kind of stuff. Don't be afraid to spend a long time doing this. You can spend as long or short as you like on this sort of stuff. Take your time, really get in there and have some fun with it. This one I'd probably actually want to expand on. Have the barista there. I think that is going to be my layout. Really. And you can see how rough that is. That is not detailed by any means. It is stick figures and scribbles, and I wouldn't be surprised if people looked at that and went, I have no idea what you're drawing right now. And that's fine. This is what you would call a thumbnail. And I think in this, if we were going back to that Fibonacci spiral at this stage, I think my Fibonacci spiral would be that. With the resting area there. But that could change as we go. So once you've got this sorted out, we are going to do a nifty little trick that I like. And we're not going to worry about the characters right now. We are going to work on our space. So you can save this large if you would like. I'm just going to put it up in the top corner here. Go onto a new layer. Create a floor plan. Doorway is going to be window. There. I'm going to have table. With some chairs there. Have the barista right there. There's a lounge of some sort here. Extend that to make this bookshelves. cedar lounge. Table. Another. There we go. We have a floor plan. A floor plan is really helpful when you're doing a room. Because it helps you see where everything is laid out. And I'll show you how to work with this in just a moment. So, you don't have to have all of the details in. You can add your plants and stuff later. Unless it's going to be like a specific part of the room. You don't want to worry about it. So like I might put a pot plant there next to the door. Maybe there. But with floor plans, I like to work with windows and doors the way you would with a D&D dungeon. Doors are like that. Windows are just like that. Unless it's a big like that. But once we do this, I'm going to duplicate that layer so we can still keep that. What we do up massively. And it might take you a few times to do this, like it is for me. But I have this. And then we will duplicate that. Move it upwards. If you hold shift, at least in Clip Studio, while you're moving something upwards or directly, it's generally when you're going upwards, but it will do it directly rather than on an angle. And that just helps you get your height for everything. With a different color, I'm going to go in over the top. Put everything to a lower opacity. Just sketch in our layout. I've done this on the wrong layer. So, don't do what I did. But you can use that as a guideline. Everything goes. So we want the barista. We know that there's a table there, table there. There is a lounge. Don't worry too much if your perspective's off. We are focusing on the art of this rather than getting everything perfect. Another chair there. You can see now that we've done this, how that's already coming together. We started with this. And you can see that we're starting to get a little bit more depth. Now, I'm not quite happy with the horizon line on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that down. And if we want to, we can then expand. And you're going to be getting a little less of that room in, but it's going to bring more focus on the characters you're looking at. There's another here. And then choosing a different color, we're going to map out on another layer where figures might go. So that's the one behind here. We've got because that means that you can chop and change it. Having people on a different layer means that, okay, I don't like where this person is. I can then erase them without erasing your layout from below. Layers are always your best friend. Doesn't matter if you end up with a million layers, layers are your best friend when it comes to planning stuff out like this. Because that's something that I was certain I was going to have. If you're not sure you want the cat there, put it on a separate layer. But that's something that I absolutely wanted to have in the setting, I guess. If you're not certain about that, then it goes on another layer. And even then, when you are certain about things, sometimes they're going to change. But on this layer, we're going to start building this in. I want some shelves. Once again, I'm on a different layer, using a different color, differentiate between layers. I want some things up here that might draw the attention. Maybe we've got pot plant here. It obscures some of the things. Yeah. You can easily make a picture where it's just, okay, this is background and this is the foreground. But the best way you're going to get a more immersive sensation is if you're using multiple layers. So, okay, the purple here, that is your, I guess, basis. If we were really going to get granular with this, it would be, if I really wanted to get granular with it, I could say that is a background. This is another one where this is on the next level again. That's on that level as well. And then you'd have another one where these guys are only at another level. And you'd have that layering. And that just, as you can see, even though I'm using all the same color and I'm just using different levels of tone, that's already creating a sense of depth. Because the closer things get to you, the more saturated and darker the colors. The further away, the lighter. And that's essentially what we're sort of laying the basis out right now, is we're not even up to the coloring stage. We're not up to the proper, like, adding depth stage. We are just laying the groundwork. So having these so you can chop and change as you go. Like, I can see here that, okay, I'm wanting to create a Fibonacci spiral that ends with this person here. And I want that to either be upward like that, or I want it to be downward like this. To achieve that, I've got to add more motion. Maybe it's like this instead. Although at this stage, it's looking more like this person's going to be in actual focus. Which is also totally fine. What we do in that case, okay, we've got this person's now focus color. This person's just another person in the crowd. Maybe I want some people entering in. Maybe I'll have someone here with their back to us so that, yes, they're closer, but they're not the focus of the picture. And then down here, maybe you've got the head of another person. Because there was supposed to be another chair over there. And this, now that you can see there's more people in the scene, but now if we go in the Fibonacci spiral, it's starting to draw your eye. You're starting to get that focus. And then this cat in the window has become the break for your eye. If we decide to put detail in the window, it's going to be this roofing area. Like that. I think I'm pretty happy with that layout though. play around with this sort of stuff. You can see here, I'm literally just using stick figures. Stick figures are going to be your best friend when you're doing an artwork like this. Also, if you need to create a grid, keep yourself on proportion or anything like that, don't be afraid to use a grid. There's a lot of really good tools in Clip Studio that allow you to make grids. From memory, if you're working on Procreate with iPad, there's some really good perspective tools in that. But yeah, don't be afraid to play around with stuff. And you can see we've added a couple of pot plants, but we haven't added a lot of green yet. But we
Take care of yourself.
A lot more greenery once we get into the detailing portion of this. Don't forget to save your stuff, as Dee just pointed out. And like I said before, this will be uploaded onto YouTube, so even if you miss the VOD period on Twitch, you can go back, you can watch it, you can replay any of the parts that you want. Take your time. The biggest thing I can emphasize, I can work on this quicker because I do art for a living. And even then, I'm a lot slower than a lot of people. Take your time with it. Don't be afraid to take a long time with your art. The more time and effort you put into it, the better things are going to look. But we have the basis of our layout sorted now. And this is another reason why I like working with color. You can minimize this. The human brain works so well at differentiating tone with importance. So having your colors turn down the strength of your opacity, make a new layer, grab whatever color you're happy working with, and in my case I'm going to put it onto a multiply layer. You can do whatever you want, and you can start then actually making a solid sketch for this. Now I'm going to use a tool called the symmetry tool. Just because I like multiply layer essentially just makes it darker over the color underneath. So this is a good example. We'll use this brush. Because I'm not using white, I'll show you what it looks like over white in case you are using a white background. Blinding. Jump scare warning. But you can see that rather than dark, it is it's not going to do much over white. But you can see how it darkens over the color layers underneath it. When I'm working with a background layer, it's literally just going to make those colors darker, less saturated, and once I zoom out more, especially with the lowered opacity of the layer beneath it, it's standing out more. So I'm just going to use it essentially to get not a perfectly straight, but a relatively straight line for my sketch. I could use the line tool easily, but I like the ruler tool for getting at least the basis of something like that. And we are going to draw a sketch of our and don't forget you can rotate the page however it is you want. Don't be afraid to rotate. Don't be afraid to zoom or unzoom. Be afraid to start adding just a couple of little details in now. Don't go crazy. You're gonna have time to make plenty of actual details. But like adding the shelving planes just adds that little bit of an idea. That's where we're gonna put those. we're just laying down the sketch for how do things go? I'm imagining that these doors open outwards. I'm also sort of thinking that back that makes a little bit more sense with where we've the lights. But it also means that we can add that little bit more depth into it means we can put things like pot plants and stuff like that up here that drip down with their leaves. This is still just a sketch layer, so don't be afraid to erase things. Don't be afraid to be messy. This absolutely has no need to be perfect. These lights. What does this particular jazz song feel like? A 90s, like, midday TV theme song. Oh, it's called The Big Show Begins. That's probably why. Let's find a different playlist. Yeah. I guess some lo-fi cafe music going. The vibes shall be immaculate. I was gonna do like a chandelier thing in the middle here, but I think I'm just gonna stick with the same design as we've got. Maybe we can have some like hanging plants and crawling vines or something like that. Yeah, you can see things starting to come together. Buttons on. Like I said before, we know we want that in here, so we'll still add it in again. Every time I draw the character, we're just getting started. We want the room to feel like it could exist even without people we're going to draw in it. I guess that is the biggest bit of advice I can give. Your living spaces still exist with or without you in it, and they tell a story. They tell about the people that exist in this space. Even if you don't own much, even if you don't necessarily have a space that is exactly how you want it to be for it to be yours, the space you inhabit does actually speak to you. You could, even if someone might not necessarily know me, they could walk into my study and they could see the streaming setup, the computer, the mic, the like lights and stuff like that, and go, okay, well, this person very obviously does streaming. They'd be able to tell from the bookshelf behind my seat that I do a lot of TRPGs. I'm into a lot of like fantasy stuff, nerdy stuff. You can tell by the art that's on the wall that I do art, even without knowing me. You'd be able to pick up on those little things, and that's the sort of stuff you want to bring it into something like this. Good morning, Cass. How you guys feeling? Now I am going to cheat for the tables because there's nothing wrong with taking shortcuts. Thank you for the follow, Hugo Studios. We're also going to duplicate that, and then we're going to move it down slightly, and there you have an easy 3D table. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking shortcuts for doing art pieces. One of the benefits of doing digital art, honestly, is that you can take these shortcuts and they're not cheating because an artist has developed it. It's there for you to use. hate this concept that like copying and flipping the eye is cheating in your art, because it's wrong. It absolutely is. And anyone that says that it is bullshitting me. Just like using references. Obviously, if you are tracing something for learning a lesson, you don't post it anywhere. You still, even if you have traced it, you write on that piece of paper what it was that you did. You write it down. And you make sure that everything is accredited, but you do not post it publicly. You are using that as a learning tool. That, like, tracing is something that even, like, professional animators and artists do to practice. But it is never claimed as your own. Likewise, using references. I use references consistently. It's the whole reason why this is up here. You will see me use references in just about everything I do. I use pinned references always. Using references is not cheating. It is so important to use references. The whole reason why we made that Pinterest board was using references is how you get things done. This table is still responsible. Yeah, don't be afraid to use references. Don't be afraid to... And if you reference something heavily, state that. I will always credit Elk for teaching me the blur method for line work. I have absolutely studied and referenced both Midge and Fox's art because they're spectacular artists. If you are an artist and you are my friend, I have studied your art style because I want to learn some of the tips and tricks that you do. And that's the whole reason why I'm doing this as well. Like, this lets you study my art. If there's something I do that you particularly like, this is me showing you how I do it. We don't gatekeep art in this. Learning the little bits and pieces from other artists and implementing them into your own art in a way that is different from them, but still using that skill, that is how you get an art style. And there's no such thing as like, I mean, there's specific art styles that you can look at and you can go, okay, X, Y, Z did this. But even their art is going to change over time. Your favorite artist's art style is always going to evolve, and if it doesn't, there's either a reason for this. For example, we're talking about Garfield, and that is a well-known franchise that even then, as the art style of Garfield has changed, whether you like it or not. But it's just, I don't know. If you're not evolving in your art style, if you're not changing, then you're stagnant. And another little thing, as frustrating as it is for those fellow artists out there, and this is something I have to remind myself as well, if you are really struggling with your art and you're in that art block phase, generally that is happening because you are on the precipice of your art progressing. And it's frustrating. It's fucking infuriating. But it's also a sign of growth and progression. And it is a good thing. Be excited. And you'll find that a lot of the time, art blocks will come after a time of like a lot of inspiration. Where you've been like really drawing a lot of things. I had the exact same thing after just before Baldur's Gate came out completely. I got really excited. I was doing a lot of art. I was studying the art style of Baldur's Gate. And I worked myself into an art block. And I was miserable. But the whole thing that came out of that was now I've been drawing my silly little blorbos a lot more. My art style has changed. But I'm also really happy with where it is. Art blocks are frustrating, but they are not the end of the world. What I am going to reference right now is a chair because I suck at drawing chairs. Chairs suck to draw.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you, dear. Don't forget to save, guys. Also, don't forget to stretch your wrists. And chair this. I shall, dear, I shall. I'm going to do this on a separate layer because I hate drawing chairs. And I want to be able to delete it easily. I literally just googled cafe chair and I'm just drawing the first one that comes up. So if anyone wants to know what chair I'm referencing. That being said though, this chair is the same as one that was in my parents' house when we were growing up. That is a decent enough chance. Let's see where I can stick this enough times. I've got to draw this one backwards. So we'll start with base here. And see, that's going to be another thing too. You guys are going to have to decide which characters we're throwing in here. I think I know which characters I want to draw, but which characters are you going to draw? I'm going to do a mix of characters so that regardless of whether you want to draw furry or humanoid, you're going to have some tips and tricks. Might put a rope on this one. Okay. So we have, using our, yeah, so I think we've got the basis of everything sorted now. Keeping in mind that this is still very much extremely rough, very sketchy. This is just our basic layout. We are going to duplicate that layer, copy that layer, turn off the one below, and this is where we're going to do our sort of flat layout. I like using the lasso tool for this. The other selection tools, you can use the square tool, all that sort of stuff. But we're just going to select the areas where we want the brighter stuff to come through. We're just blocking out and we're going to work with this in layers. So that one there, I made a multiplier layer, I filled the entire thing, put the opacity down to like 17 or 20 or so, and then I just erased the bits I wanted to be brightest. Like I said, the further away we get, the brighter it's going to be. Create another layer, make it a multiplier, fill it all the way in again, and we go over it again. And this time, we are going to select the next one. And this is where we're going to start getting our depth. this with a graduation tool. You can use it with an eraser and a blender. Clip Studio has the gradient arrays, which I love. Just makes things so handy. But you can see that I am selecting areas of the wall, and I'm just gradually erasing some of that color to have the light fade. And this is just going to give us that illusion of the light changing like this. And then we can go back in with a solid color, with that same color as we've got. Make the curtains a little darker. And we're going to just continue this process. We're just gonna start flooding in shades. And like I said, this isn't going to be the final piece. This is just us blocking and mapping out what we want. By adding these slightly darker spots, we are just getting an idea of the depth of field for this. Once again, multiply, fill the whole scene. And we just erase. Lex. Like that. We delete that area. And we've created light. We can do this with some of the books as well. There we go. And then we do another layer, multiply. And instead of filling the whole thing this time, we're just sticking with a brush. Make sure you are sticking with something that is going to be loose. You don't have to do anything too heavily. You can turn that opacity down. And what we are just adding in shadows at the edges, adding in that little bit of depth in areas that need it. blending tool is going to be your friend. I love a good blending tool. I use a textured blender. I don't like a smooth blender unless I'm doing something super specific. Especially for something rough like this, you don't want a smooth one. I'll show you an example of the rough versus the smooth. Some people do like the smooth aesthetic. I'm just gonna. So this is me blending with the rough one. Is that's the layer, that's fine. Roughly with the blender. And then if we go in with the smooth one, like you're still going to get that blended aesthetic, and it's good for some things, but textured I feel just gives more life. So that's the smooth. Compared to the textured, I don't know. I like the prettiness that the textured gives. And then to get our idea of what our base tones might be, our light tones, we're going to not that's where our light's going to come from. And that's going proportion blur. And we're just going to go for a hard light. Hello, Babu. So yeah, doing something like that just gets you an idea of lighting. We want this to be a cozy sort of vibe. So before we've done that with the hard lighting, maybe we will make another layer. Put some lighting on here. And we will use the blending tool to just kind of bring that down. And you can layer that as many times as you want to just kind of bring in some of that lighting. And that's our layer. That's our base layer. Obviously, we still need to put the people in and stuff like that, but this is where we're going to start. This is how I work on like detailed scene pieces like this. I always start with that. Once we've done that, we can kind of just layer them all down. So, we have started our steps. All right. So, I will be saving each of these. I'm going to save these as our base ideas. We did our sketches. We did our floor plan once we settled on a sketch. Bum, 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 bum. And I'll upload these into the server, onto the Discord as well for people to refer back to if they want to. Mm, mm, mm. Does anyone have any questions about the steps we've been through today? But yeah, like I said, like even getting to this stage here, like you can see that took us almost 3 hours to get from concept to this. A lot of that was me stopping to explain some things. We spent good 20 minutes on the Fibonacci circle. Happens every time I talk about the Fibonacci circle. But, but yeah, like these things take time. Even
Take
if
care
it
of
takes
yourself.
you longer, it could take you 6 hours to get to this point. It is important to just take your time. Make sure you are not stressing yourself out. If you're stressing yourself out about this sort of stuff, stop, walk away, take a break, come back to it later. But yeah, it is. It's almost like a meditative practice is what you want this to be like. And it's chill. It's something fun. It's just, there's no pressure. You're doing this for you, not for anyone else. And you're just having fun doing it. I think this is where we'll leave the first session. Next session we will start blocking in, sketching in the characters. And we'll do a clean sketch of the whole thing. That'll be stage 2. And that'll take probably a bit longer because we will discuss both humanoids and fairies. We'll be doing a mix for this scene just so that there's references for everyone. I'll also show you how to scale characters to the scene so that you're getting the scale correct. Things like that. If you have questions that you want to ask me about this, please, I will be making a section in my Discord. You can find the Discord down below. And you can ask me questions in the Drawing with Kobold channel on there. There will be a section for you to upload your takes on this, your points of artistry for this. And yeah, and if there's any questions for next week, like character illustration, sketching characters, things like that, ask for that as well, and I will answer them in next fortnight's, I said next week, next fortnight's session. These will be happening every 2 weeks. Yeah. Enjoy. And I think for now, we will head off. Yeah. I'll make a dedicated channel for the Discord and we can ask all our stuff there. I think for now, though, we are going to very quickly see if there's anyone we can raid. I will make sure to cut this out of the YouTube. Or maybe we won't. Maybe we'll just give some friends some free advertisement too. If you are watching this on YouTube and you don't already follow me on Twitch, please follow me on Twitch. I do a lot of this. I take commissions, all that fun stuff. I think Toxie is live. We're gonna raid Toxie. Toxie is working on commissions. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. Stay safe. Do something that makes you happy. Tell someone you love them today, and if you cannot behave, don't get caught. Alright, gang. Bye-bye!